Oh, how I've missed Ben and his antics. In my absence, Ben has done such fabulousness as fall down holes in his garden. So, we had this whole, there's a bit of a rough, ooh, see what I mean about these holes? See what I mean about these holes? Flippin' heck. Fortunately enough, they were able to dig him out quite easily, but he is also being on a zip wire, an actual zip wire. Last shot, watch out of the way. You ready? Last shot for me today. Countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bye bye. Now, as fun as that looks, we are not here to talk about Ben and his silliness today. Oh no, we're going to be talking about the Sullivans and their ongoing pursuit of educational brilliance. They've opened up their new school within the confines of their little bubble, or their cult if you like, that they are developing very nicely, and they have been filming their children being educated, you know, so we do know that it is actually happening, but filming it is the new in thing, I guess. Hey guys, thank you for always supporting this channel in whatever way possible, but could you also possibly please download this survey app where you can actually make some money? Just for signing up for free, you also get a sign up bonus, so it's just not just a selfish act by myself, but also it does really help me out and helps to support the channel to move on and pay my bills going forward. Thank you all so much. Link in the description box below.
Oh, where's my... There it is. I've got it.
Was it in the glue?
There
Is
we
it in
go.
the milk?
In the milk. How you doing, guys? So it is Monday. Is it Monday? Is it the 9th today?
Yeah.
It's Monday the 9th.
I'm 9.
We have just started. I mean, I've just started. We've been on it for about an hour and a half now, since after lunch. So we've talked about the solar system.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've talked about the planets.
Yeah.
We've talked about...
Tell them something
Yeah,
about
go
that.
for it.
So, what's farthest away from the sun?
Pluto, but it's a dwarf planet, so it's kind of like... Oh, hang on, darling, hang on. Let me stick mine down.
So, here, Flo. The North Pole is so cold because it barely gets any sunlight.
It doesn't get as much sunlight as the rest of, like if you're near the equator.
Now, I for one am loving the amount of educating that's going on in that household, right? It's clear that the kids are learning things. However, what I would say, Benjamin, is filming the kids being educated for content for your vlog is kind of crossing one or two boundaries, I would say, right? You know, I know you need content for your vlog, and all you're going to be doing all day is homeschooling, so that's what you want to vlog, isn't it? However, kids' education should not be filmed and monetized. My opinion, maybe my opinion is not quite the correct opinion in your head, right? But in my opinion, kids should not be monetizing, or you should not be monetizing the kids' education, right? I think it's wrong. I think it actually should be outlawed. I think it should be made illegal, and personally speaking, I think that this is something that should be brought to the attention of the Education Authority, right? I don't often say stuff like that, but I feel quite strongly that this shouldn't be monetized, and I'm I'm not sure what the law is on it, but I'm sure that the Education Authority would be most interested to know that you've not only taken your kids out of school, but you have decided to use it to make money out of, right? So, yeah, I would not encourage people to report it, but if you were happening to report it, then I wouldn't say no. But apart from that, Zoe also had something very interesting and insightful. I know you don't associate Zoe with insightfulness usually, but she had something insightful to say about how the education is coming along and how the homeschooling is happening.
Where are we at with the home educating? I think we're doing really well. I feel like we're doing really well. I'd be lying if I said, the thought of all of it being in our hands doesn't scare you a little bit, because it does, because it's really important. But like I said at the beginning, when we kind of started, we have gone back with the twins because we weren't really sure. I knew that Erin had was struggling with certain things, had kind of felt like she fell behind, was getting quite frustrated, that sort of thing. So we took it back. We took it back a year with one of the workbooks we've got, because I know that they'll get through it quite quickly, because the workbooks we've got are kind of geared up for a whole year's worth of work, if you like, of the academic stuff. So, maths, English, those sorts of things. Obviously, you're going to put extra on top of that as well. But as a base level, to cover kind of the whole curriculum for a year. But I needed to know what level they were at. So we took it back. And I'm glad we did, because there are some things like phonics and things like that they know all of that. So that's, they're flying through that mostly. There has been a few things that they've got stuck on, which was the entire reason I wanted to go back, because I wanted to go back over things that they might not be sure about and help them understand them. I wanted to go back through things, even if they knew them, just to double check. So I know, and Ben knows obviously, where they're at with what they do know how to do, what they don't know how to do, etc, etc. Like I said, some of the stuff flying through, some of the stuff really not. We're kind of going back to basics, and this is stuff that they should have already learnt at school. So that tells a story in itself, I feel, because there's some stuff that they just they couldn't get their head around how to do it. And they said that they'd kind of covered it at school, but they didn't really understand what they were doing, and everybody had moved on, and they still didn't really know what they were doing. And this is the exact reason that children get left behind. They don't pick it up. They don't really understand what's going on. The teacher doesn't have time to go back over stuff, and they end up falling through the cracks. They fall behind. And I know that it's happened. We've got first-hand experience of it happening with some of the older ones. They fall through at a basic level. They don't get all the basics that they need. And then when they're trying to build on that basics later with more stuff and more in-depth stuff, they can't do it. If you can't do it without the basics.
You're absolutely correct, Zoe. They can't do it without the basics, which is where the parents come in. When your kid goes to school, they learn a little bit here and there, obviously more than that, obviously, hopefully. But when they come home from school, the parents build on that. The parents help them with their homework. The parents help them understand things that they have been struggling with. The parents need to play a role in this. And I know that you can do that. I know you can, because you have time on your hands in order to do so. And, well, You're both at home, aren't you? Let's not beat around the bush. However, things like your lovely husband, Ben, doing this...
You've done your pizzas. You're coming outside for fresh air, okay? We're having fresh air today.
I need to do my math.
We're having fresh air today. You can do your maths later, all right?
Ben,
Are you listening?
yeah. Roger's making a rainbow pizza.
What's that?
Roger's making a rainbow pizza.
Okay.
Cheese.
Okay, no problem.
You're making rainbow pizza.
What was I saying? Yeah, so you're not doing homework all day, okay? You're coming out for some fresh air as well, so you can do your maths later.
You can do your maths later. You're not doing homework all day. You can do your maths later. You're coming out into the garden to help me put the trampoline away, so you can do your homework later. You're not doing homework all day, are you, kids? No. So when your kids are going to school and struggling a little bit, and then they're trying to do homework, and your husband telling them, no, you can't do homework all day, we're not going to allow you to do homework, it kind of nullifies any learning that they are, trying to get on with, and also anything that they're falling behind with, because clearly you don't like to teach them or help them at all. Maybe that's the problem.
You don't know the beginnings, how can you carry on to do the rest? And that has happened a couple of times with some of our older ones. They haven't had time to teach them the basics, if you like, and therefore they haven't been able to learn on top of that. Because at the end of the day, like I've always said, school is great. The school system is geared up great for if you are academic, you can follow the rules, you can do the work, you can get it done quickly, you can remember stuff, you're going to do great at school. You'll be grand, be fine. And for some people, school is where they want to be, what they need. The reason we've taken them out of school, amongst other things, I'm not going to bash schools. I'm not, the school system isn't geared up for every single child.
I'm confused, Zoe. Right, you're saying that school isn't right for every single child, but for some kids it's fine. However, aren't you taking Agnes out of school irrespective of whether or not she wants to go? Right? Didn't you say that? So you're not tailoring it to her specific needs. You're tailoring it to your specific issues you have with a specific teacher you have, right? Not because Agnes might enjoy school, she might get on with school, she might be learning well at school. No, it's because you don't want her to go. So that kind of contradicts everything you've just been saying.
But it is, it's great for some, but it's not for everybody. You've got one whole system teaching every single person exactly the same thing, and not every single person can learn exactly the same way. There's lots of ways of learning different things, but at school they get taught the one way to learn it, and they can't always learn it that way. It doesn't always make sense to every single person, and this is where it falls down. And this is another reason that we're homeschooling some of the children at the moment, hopefully to be all of them. But
again, Zoe, you've just said currently you're homeschooling most of your kids. Hopefully it will be all of them. Why hopefully it will be all of them? Why do you want them all to be homeschooled so desperately if you are admitting yourself that it's not a one-size-fits-all? Some kids will get on better at school in an academic environment, and some kids will not be better being taught by two morons at home. Right? That's the long and short of it, isn't it? So why are you trying to get everybody, all your kids, to be learning from home? They don't all need to learn from home. Tailor it to their specific needs. Some kids do better learning from home, and some will do better in an academic environment. That's just the way it is.
They are doing really well. So phonics, flying through. Actually, multiplication and fractions, we've just started doing fractions. Multiplications, they struggled a bit, because they weren't sure, like we have been using the multiplication square and things like that. They weren't quite sure how to use it. So we've taught them all of that flying through. We're doing things like going over times tables because they're really not sure on their times tables. Neither am I.
Well, that's going to go down well then, isn't it? If you don't know how you don't know your times tables, but you're trying to teach your kids how, right?
So, you know, we're going through all of those sorts of things like adding and subtracting, stuff that you think is super simple. They've pretty much gone flying through that. There's been a few things, and we've again taken it back and gone through it again until they've got it, you know. And that's what they've needed. They've needed to go back and go through things until they've got it. And then they can go on and do the rest because they've got it. So we've also been doing a bit of science, a bit of just paper science, not experiments just yet. What else have I been doing this week? Reading and writing, obviously, maths, general maths, general reading. They've both got a new reading book as well, which they got from the library, so they've been flying through that. I can't think what else we've been doing. Oh, Ben's obviously been doing the solar system, so they've been doing lots of crafts as well. So it's been working out really, really well. I tend to do the more academic stuff with them in the mornings. Ben will tend to do the other bits and pieces in the afternoons. Then obviously getting out for a walk is important as well, getting outside. There's still a lot. We're getting into the rhythm, I think. I mean, not every day is going to be the same, and we don't want it to be the same. We're not trying to recreate, so the cat is there, recreate a school. We're trying to just find what works for us, what we think is important for the girls to learn, and Joseph, obviously, and how to fit it all in amongst all the other things. They're desperate to learn how to cook properly, so that's going to be one of the next things to do.
And who's going to be the home economics teacher, Zoe? It's not going to be you, surely, is it? You might actually need to buy some more ingredients because your cooking, your grocery shopping does not really cover like more than one meal a week, for example. And you can't teach them how to cook fish fingers, for example. You know, that doesn't work for cookery or anything like that.
They're desperate to learn to do some cooking with us, so that's going to be something. But you know, going to the library, all those sorts of things, it's all part of it, and it's been really good fun so far to find out where they're at, to watch them understand, to watch them learn, and they've calmed down so much. Their anxiety levels have calmed so much. I think Erin still has a little bit of a way to go. She's still very much asks a lot of questions, gets upset when she does things wrong, which is heartbreaking, to be honest. Leah's always saying that they had to make sure that everything was perfect, and that, you know, she doesn't like getting things wrong. And it's just, we all make mistakes all the time. Everybody makes mistakes. You don't learn if you don't make mistakes. So how can you be perfect all the time? Do you know what I mean? Perfection's overrated anyway. You know, you can't be perfect all the time, and you can't expect children to know things straight away, or how to do things, or to do things right immediately. You know, they take time to learn. These are just children. So Leah is, there's been lots of things that have come out, and they've said things, little comments and stuff like that, that I've thought, right, okay, that's probably why they were anxious about that. That's why they were anxious about that. So a lot of things make more sense to me now. But you know, we're getting there. Their confidence is growing as well. And as for Joseph has, he does things in small bursts. He's not good at sitting for long periods of time, which is why one of the reasons that I knew school would not suit him at all. He can't sit for long periods of time. He's got to be up, he's got to be moving, he spins around a lot, so he's got to be spinning around, and then he'll sit down. But getting him to focus on actual written work is quite difficult. He's we found that he really likes using the whiteboard or wipe clean books with the whiteboard pen, which can get a bit messy, but he much prefers to do that because he gets frustrated if he gets things wrong, which obviously we're working with him because, like I said, everybody makes mistakes. But with the whiteboard markers, he can just rub it out, and he likes that. But his reading is coming on really, really well. His reading kind of surpasses his writing. So he's still, obviously, I've said before about his fine motor skills and stuff like that. They're really coming along. We're doing lots of shape work with him, lots of following the lines, lots of letters, just to get him used to the writing. We're doing lots of book work like that. And he is getting much better at that. But as far as reading goes, he knows all, you know, he can read, he can do all his letters, he can do the alphabet, he can read really well, actually. But yeah, it's just the written stuff that's going to take a bit of time with him, but that's fine because we can work on that. We can do little and often. We can do like 15 minutes here and 15 minutes there because that's what works for him better. So that's what we do. So yeah, it's really positive. I feel really positive. It doesn't mean to say that I don't feel scared some of the time that I might get it wrong or anything else, but I'm sure that that will, as the time goes past, we'll get more confident. Me and Ben will get more confident. But so far so good. You have to excuse the state of me, by the way. I've been cleaning the bathroom and I haven't bothered doing my hair, and I've got my bleachy t-shirt on. But anyway, that is a bit of a homeschool update from me.
And very much appreciated, Zoe. It was appreciated. We love to know. We love to hear it. If you have appreciated this video as well, please give it a massive thumbs up. Comment all of your thoughts about it down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Also, don't forget to hit the link in the description box below to sign up for the surveys where you can earn a little bit of extra cash. You also get a sign up bonus as well, so it's not just a one-way thing. All right, but also it helps to support the channel. It's free to do, it's not costing you anything, so just hit that sign up button and I will love you all forever. Thank you all so much. Until next time, have a brilliant day, take care, and bye bye.